Hey everybody, WWJD here, the Pacific Storm Allies Gamers, bringing you another 1.8.4 campaign video. So I was very pleased that the last video I made last week turned out to be pretty successful. People seem to enjoy the concept of me playing a campaign in Pacific Storm. So with that going on, let's go ahead and cut back in. I did have a little bit of comments, so I was moving a little bit too fast, so let's just do a quick overview of what we've done. So the first thing that we did is we went to all of our bases and we went ahead and started building industrial buildings. What that does is later on down the road, that means we'll have a better economy, thus allowing us to wage war better because we know that's coming. I mean, why else would we be playing this game, let's be honest. I mean, you know. Anyway, so that's what we went ahead and started with. We also built a few hospitals, and we went to Guam. So let's see if we can go back to Guam now. There we go. And we started construction of a shooting range. And what I did was I went over a little bit of overview of why I like these three bases right here. And I called them my main three, where I use these as my base of operations for all attacking out here in the Pacific when using the United States. The next thing we did is we created a few formations. I believe we created some with battleships, and some we sent out here to Guam. And I believe we have some here destroyers and all this tankers at San Diego. We also put into production more transports, and we put, I believe, a few of those into a couple formations. So again, by having more tankers and transports, we're actually able to go ahead and start moving things around, whether that be personnel or other such items, to our other bases out here in the Pacific that are at the campaign start, not there. So that's kind of where we are. If we also go, I believe the only other thing we did is if we go to technologies, we also started up the production of the 1200 HP aircraft engine and the radar, HF radar, or high frequency radar. In production, we haven't done a whole lot, although we do have our our transport Victory still here, as well as a few planes I wanted to build up because I'm looking towards getting some carriers. We also set in a few fleet carrier Rangers here for production. So that's where we are, and so let's continue with our early going production stuff. So as you can see, we go ahead and have our transports that are moving around automatically, very normal. And no, I'm not going to take that trade. One ship versus 16 Clemson, no thank you. So let's keep going on. You can actually look and monitor over here. I kind of try to keep my eye on this while we're running. So it's always really important with this game to keep an understanding of what you're doing, what your nation is doing, and how you're doing it. So it's also important to have a battle plan. So let's go ahead and go over what I'm going to consider my standard battle plan for United States. And you can kind of manipulate this per different nation, you know, depending on how you want to do it. But this is just how I personally like to roll. So my first thinking is, let's go ahead and build a strong economy with great units up front. Let's go ahead and take care of doing that. And then as soon as we have a strong economy, we have a lot of units ready in formations, and then war breaks out, then we're actually ready and in a position where we can actually be aggressive and do some things. So with that in mind, once we're at our stage where we're ready to be aggressive, my first thinking is this: take over the main three. So right now, if I can't get them early on by trading, then I'll go ahead and capture them from, in this case, Japan or whoever they'll be at the time. And what we'll do is, once we have the main three, we're going to try to get some aircraft out here. So like some heavy bombers are going to be transported straight out here to these three bases, primarily Guam and Iwo Jima. Alright, so once we have all of those set up and ready, then we can start delivering periodic air raids. Alright, so Japan's going to be able to be here. Let's just, be hypothetical, for instance, and let's say Japan captures a lot of these bases down here, then we can launch raids in. And if later on necessary, we can actually use these three bases as airfield locations as well to launch attacks into kind of this circle area. I don't really have a name for it or anything. It's nothing cool like that. But it's powerful. If you can control this area, it's a very condensed area of bases, then you can deliver some devastating air raids into it. Especially if we have these four bases right here, because they can pretty much reach everything in this area. Alright, so that's kind of the main battle strategy. Next up, after we have all this taken care of, I'd like to go up and attack Japan North, take these bases, and just start taking them off the flanks here and here before I start moving into these main bases here. So that's kind of the main strategy behind what we think we're going to be doing. Hopefully we're not going to go to war with anyone random like the UK or anything like that, and so we should have that go through pretty successfully. But those are kind of the main things I'm building towards. Alright, I'm not going to take that trade, and that was an old objective. If you remember, I believe I turned those off, so yeah. Then, oops. Let's go ahead to messages. And I might have, let's see, go and disable those. Alright, we're good to go. Just again, personal things. I don't really want to see when my ships exit storm fields because it happens so often that I just can't be bothered to read it all that time. One, I don't know why it's sitting down there. That happens randomly. But, okay, no, I'm not taking the trade either. I'd rather the resources at this point in the game. No, because so one thing I like to do when I'm reading these trades, right, is I like to think, well, can what I'm giving up sync at least what they're giving up, if it's, you know, with units. And in this case, I'm pretty sure 15 TBDs could successfully sync one of their transports. So in that case, to me, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Again, maybe later on or something, maybe I'm really short on transports and we're in the middle of a war zone of war and I just can't build them fast enough, then maybe it makes sense. You can make exceptions that way. But early on like this, that's how I like to kind of judge if it's a good trade or if it's not really a good trade. Alright, so we're just letting things happen right now. So we're letting things build, we're letting personnel get transported around. So you can see here we have a few engineers now over here at Guam. Likely what I'll end up doing is going back here to build up another transport battalion. And what I want to do with these guys, I'm actually going to do this manually. I'm going to load on some engineers. We're kind of short on engineers at the moment. I guess they've been kind of transported out to the other locations. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's wait on that for just a little bit. Let's kind of take a bird's eye view at different locations where engineers are. Yeah, so we can see that we have engineers kind of distributed throughout, which is pretty good. So I actually don't need to worry about doing that right now. I was about to move some engineers out over to Guam, but I think I'll wait on that actually. Now that I have a bird's eye view. Alright, in this case, I don't like trading a lot of ammunition straight up for units like this, but I mean, it wouldn't be a make it or break it deal thing. It's not like you're going to lose the war just because you decide to make that trade, so no biggie. Alright, just letting some things run through. Alright, so here's an interesting thing. So, in my case, we're offering a fleet carrier Lexington for one of their light carrier Hermes. When you're seeing two things of similar class, like two carriers, two battleships, two destroyers, two whatever, you've got some things you can consider. In this case, this is a fleet carrier versus a light carrier. In all likelihood, that fleet carrier is going to be a little bit more effective than their light carrier. Again, if you have like your favorite ships and stuff, you know, you feel free to make those trades if you want. Me personally, I kind of like to stick with just the United States stuff, especially when it's a trade like this. It's like a fleet carrier versus a light carrier. Especially when, again, right now we're not in war. I can build the United States light carriers if I really need them. But frankly, I like using my my carriers off in the distance, having them just launch out, which is why we're building fleet carrier Rangers right now at the moment. Alright, so we still got things going in production. We got some pretty good units coming out. Let's take a look here at all the units we've got. Sort of pretty decent. Nothing to really complain about and stuff like that. Looks like we still got decent ammo. We could probably build a little bit more ammunition at the moment. Economy-wise, we're not doing too poorly. So let's go ahead and put that low subsidized, low priority, and just have that done and be working on the background. Alright. No, I did not want to take that trade, frankly. Alright, you can kind of see now, you know, our resources are going up. You know, we've got those industrial buildings that are getting constructed. Like we've got them all here sitting up in San Diego, and they're getting upgraded. You can see just how helpful they are to helping you out later on as with your economy. Because the better your economy is, the more you can build, etc., etc., etc. So let's take a look again over. Oops, sorry. Let's go back to San Diego where we have all of our ships, and let's take a look see at how many we're doing for our aircraft carrier fleet. Alright, so we're still kind of short on our seaborne dive bombers, seaborne fighters. Again, I kind of would like to have the F4Us early on for these fleets, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I think what we're going to go do is, I think we still have a lot of these in construction. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just go ahead and suck it up. I'm going to drop in a few F4Fs into the production menu. Drop in 100. Now again, with low subsidizes, but we can have them on high priority. Can't really speak today, sorry about that. Alright, so hopefully this will be enough to go ahead and get us that carrier fleet. Alright, so 18 B-17s versus a heavy cruiser Norfolk. I would rather have those be 17s, frankly, because again, as I explained in our strategic little thing, we're gonna set those heavy bombers up here. We're gonna use them in this entire area out here. So really, we're gonna have bombers who could hit all these bases. So we're gonna kind of go along with that thought for strategies. So let's continue working. Three victories versus a fleet carrier. Now in this case, I'm actually gonna take this trade. So again, I think the fleet carrier is going to be much more reliable. You guys have already seen I've been trying to build up for these carrier groups, and frankly, we can build victories up very quickly and very inexpensively. So we're going to go ahead and take that trade. And now we got a whole nother carrier that we can actually use later on, which is going to be fantastic. So in this game, there's some balancing that we're going to need to do when it comes to the aircraft, and hopefully what I'm going to do is kind of nerf some of the anti-aircraft guns and things of that sort. But as of right now, even though the aircraft are not quite as effective as they would have been or were in real history, they're still really effective if you know how to use them. So hopefully we'll get into that later on. Now this is kind of funny. So the UK is looking to trade a Dorset. I'm sorry, I do really poorly with pronunciations today, so please forgive me. But they're looking to trade a Dorsetshire for one of our fleet carrier we just traded for. Not really going to take that trade. Some of the trades are very, very interesting if you've ever played this game. Alright, so here's interesting. A battleship. The battleship, please forgive my pronunciation, Battleship Musashi versus the Battleship New Mexico. Personally, in my opinion, I do like this. It's a Yamato class battleship, and so I'm going to go ahead and take that. Let's go and take it. So we got a nice battleship versus one. What? I'm so sorry, guys. But I'm getting one of their nice battleships for what would have been what I would consider a subpar battleship on the United States side. So let's go ahead and for this case, it's a good bit of aluminum that they're looking for. But our economy's doing pretty well, so you know what? It saves us time to have to build up another ship. Let's just go ahead and go for it. So I'm trying to, again, you can see how this economy was really helpful early on. We're able to do a lot of these trades that normally wouldn't be able to because our economy is strong enough for it. Alright, so let's continue allowing things to happen. All of our transports and stuff running around like crazy. Alright, let's see. Do we have more transports? That we do. Let's go ahead and equip them. Create from all. There we go, guys. We got more of these transports who are ready for usage. Let's go ahead and load our seamen on board. Alright. Transfer all. Alright, transfer all. Transfer all. And there we go. And there we go. So we're still doing pretty well. We can see we have a positive take in for our personnel here at San Diego, as you can see through our engineer usage, which is pretty good. Which is going to be really nice. So let's keep that in mind. There go all of our transports ready for their missions. And not really feeling it. I don't think I'm going to really take much advantage of that kind of ammunition type. Alright. So that is definitely not what I would consider a good trade. They're looking to trade us back our New Mexico for another fleet carrier. I'm pretty sure a fleet carrier could decimate that battleship, frankly. So let's not go ahead and go with that trade. Alright, so as we're letting things go, let's go ahead and look at this. Nope, not going to do that trade again. Alright, so let's go and take a look at our production, see how far we've come with our aircraft, and we're doing pretty good. I mean, look at that. Out of the 100 aircraft or fighters we ordered, we're already down to 62 more. So we're doing really well there. Looking for some more heavy cruiser trade-offs versus a carrier. Not going to do it. Alright. I might end up just not really talking about why I'm doing any more of those, and just kind of leave that up for you guys to take a look at. Frankly, in this case, that's actually a hard trade for me, because I don't like using a whole lot of submarines, because to me they're just not very effective unless you use them just right in their in their way. But I think I would rather have. That's a really hard trade. You know what? I think that ultimately, I think it would be better to have those submarines. So I'm gonna go and cancel that for now. If you guys in the comments below want to say like why you think these trades are stupid on my part, then let me know. Oh wow, they want to give us the hood, their flagship. Wow, they're really hurt for those carriers, man. Sorry, but I'd rather have our carrier for that. All right, things are happening in our economy. Also, I just want to take a note. So if you look at our aluminum that we spent on that, that I believe was the battleship previously, or the Dorsetshire previously, we're back to what we had previously very quickly. So we didn't really get hurt at all. We just, again, this is why you want a great economy. I like how it's the same trade, but they just ups it by 1 gato on our side. So I really don't understand that. Okay, so let's continue our little bit of running around. Same exact trade as earlier. Don't really want to take it. Alright. So again, the first couple episodes are all going to be just build up to the actual war itself. So nothing crazy. Do not want to make that trade. I mean, we're not even at 1941 yet, so it's kind of a treat. Kind of cool. Alright, so no, we are not going to make this trade. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, no, not like that. I would rather have those heavy bombers, frankly. Alright, so one thing also, when you have things like aircraft at these little bases out here, you can kind of see what's going on. So we've got the UK kind of moving around, the British or the Japanese are kind of doing a lot of their transportation stuff. You see a transport right there and there, so they're moving around pretty successfully. Okay, that is a really stupid deal, in my personal opinion. So let's not do that. I want 7 of our cruisers for 1 battleship. Then I trade it off back to them. I guess they saw how crappy the that battleship was and didn't want it. No, I'm not going to trade a carrier for your battleship. Sorry, UK. That's a better trade, but still not well, actually, Cleveland. Cleveland's a light cruiser type. Frankly, I still don't trust the New Mexico enough to do that trade, so sorry. Now, if I had been one Cleveland, yeah, I would have done that one, but you know. Alright, so we got things moving around. A hood for all this aluminum. Now, that's a very interesting thought. So, yes, we're giving up a lot of our aluminum, but again, as you guys have seen, we're building up pretty quickly on that. I think I'm going to take this trade. It is definitely a high price, but it's basically a battleship that we don't have to build. So the time saved is definitely worth the high cost, in my opinion. So again, if you guys disagree, just let me know. But that's the way I like to play, you know. If I can, because I can just build up the resources very quickly. 1 battleship for another. No, thank you. All right. So we still got a lot of buildings getting successfully built. A lot of warehouses, army places. Actually, I will take that technology, so we can use that later on. And frankly, 10 BBYs is very minuscule, minor, so I will go ahead and take that technology, so I don't have to worry about researching it. Again, time. That's one of the big things I like to stress, is how much time does it take to get some things done. Holy crap! So they want to trade us a Yamato for a battleship with Washington. Yes, I will take that. I assume that's going to be the old battleship, or the old class, but that's statistically going to be about the same thing. Give up HF radar for a light cruiser, Southampton. There's not much they can really do with HF radar. I don't think that we're going to go to war anyway, so let's go and take it. Gives us another little thing to look at. But also reminded me that we can come in here, we can go ahead and do some more clicking, more things to upgrade. There are more technologies to research, so let's go and take a look at those. Alright, so we're doing pretty well here. I'm pretty pleased about how our economy's going. It's doing pretty well. When I first got started with this game, you know, I would have times where probably won't take that trade. It's kind of high aluminum for what we've just been trading with. But when I first started this game, I never really put 2 and 2 together with the resources, and I had very poor resource management. I was always running my economy or my nation into bankruptcy. So let's continue our things off. All right, new technology available for purchase. Sonar, cool. So we can actually purchase that at a later date. Definitely do not want to make that trade. That is like garbage trade in my opinion. I do not want technology that bad that I would take up the time for those 8 light cruisers. Again, I can't stress that enough. You have to take into account that this game is a very realistic real-time strategy game. So when the amount of time it takes to build 1 battleship in this game is legit. So if let's go to the battleship Iowa. Where are you? Battleship Iowa. Look at that. It takes a standard of 400 days, and that's just as standard. And you can see the amount of resources that thing takes. That's kind of insane. So that's longer than a year's worth of time to produce it. So, you know, you got to take that into account. Is it worth, you know, the resources, or would you rather take a year before you could potentially build it? Because, you know, you can't, maybe you don't need this this unit now, but when you do need it, it's going to take you extra time to build it. So you got to be thinking in the future, you know, what is your attack strategy? How are you going to deal with stuff? So, nope, not going to worry about a float plane carrier. Don't really have much of a need or desire to have one of those. So let's continue going on. All right, so things are still going well. We've got all of our transports are running around. Let's go ahead and go back to San Diego and just take a quick look here. So we've got tons of engineers, tons of seamen. We're doing a really good job here, guys, as far as management, as far as on those. We've also, looks like what we've got is we now have improved a number of units that we've got, or aircraft, to building up the aircraft reduced divisions and battalions. We can actually build up an aircraft carrier fleet, guys. So that's going to be great. So now we got to decide, do we want to build an aircraft carrier fleet now, or do we want to kind of wait a little bit of time and then build up an aircraft carrier strike fleet? So what do we need? We need some seaborne dive bombers and some seaborne fighters. Frankly, if that's all we need, that's going to make the difference. Let's go ahead and build up those dive bombers and fighters. So we're going to go ahead and grab some of these guys. We're going to build up another... How many do we need? Let's go and build 200 of these, I suppose. Okay, so put that as a 2. And 0, 0. Low subsizes, high priority. And let's go ahead and build, again, another 200 of these right here. So low subsidizes and high priorities. That should get us enough to building up an aircraft carrier strike fleet as soon as they're produced, which is going to be great. Not going to make that trade. Alright, no thank you. Oil is very important, especially later on when you have these large fleets running around, because they're gonna absorb, or they're basically going to I was thinking, what is the name of that? Evaporate oil is what it's gonna be kind of like. Alright, so we're good there. Let's keep things happening. See how much further we can go. So yeah, let's go ahead. So again, what are they going to do with a 1200 HP aircraft engine? They're going to get that anyway early on, so let's go ahead and just give it to them, and we'll take over their technology as well. So pretty good trades there. Again, timing. You know, how long does it take you to research these things? All right, so we're doing a pretty good job here, guys. One destroyer versus that. Not really. It would take me less time to build up a. Take that up. One Lexington versus a light carrier. No, thank you. I'm good. I'll keep my Lexington. Alright, let's keep going here. I'm trying to see how much we can get done in one episode. It's going to be a little bit longer, I think, because I want to kind of drive the time up a little bit. But we're going to see. Alright, one Eclipse versus 38 F2A2s. Alright. So let's go ahead and continue our movement. No, thank you on that trade. Yeah, right. It'd be nice if we can go ahead and get that aircraft carrier strike fleet out of this episode, just to go and get that done and send them out somewhere. If I recall right, did I have anyone sitting here? Pearl Harbor, I did not. Okay. We just have guys sitting at over here at San Diego as destroyers, which I might end up sending out. Let's go ahead and... no, thank you. Let's go and take a look here. So we got some of these destroyers in here. They're kind of low on ammo, so... Oh, wow. Apparently, we're already out of ammo. Let's go ahead and build some more. Let's just punch in some numbers here. Low, and we'll go and build that in the background. So that should be 5 more. Yes, okay. There we go. Not really worth the trade there. I'd rather have more than just one destroyer for 17 heavy bombers. And let's continue with our productions and work. One Colorado versus a Howe. Not really worth it. Alright. Nope. Alright, so things are just going on as normal. Alright, so I'm also going to try to take a look around, let's just take a look-see at other nations' relations here. Looks like no one has really gone to war yet, which is very cool. Yep. Very cool. So we are kind of in a really good position, if you ask me. So we've got a lot of units ready to go to war at a moment's notice. We've got an amazing economy, and we're just... I feel like if war strikes, we're going to be ready to go ahead and dish out a little bit of punishment. So far I think we're in a really good place. Alright. Nothing there. Nothing there. Not really worth that trade. Alright, again, just watching the statistics roll by, see what's getting built and why and how. Well, not really the why, but you know what I mean there. Not worth the trade up. It would take longer to do the build up, or take more resources and time to build up that. Nope. No thank you. We need those F4Fs for our carrier strike. Our aircraft carrier strike fleet that we're going to be building momentarily. Alright, not worth the trade up. Again, a lot of the times the AI is just going to send you the same trades over and over, so you kind of get into the habit of just clicking. No thank you, I don't really want to trade up ammunition. We are just spending a lot of time trying to figure that out. Alright. Yeah, we're still producing. Let's go and take a look at our... nope, not going to worry about it. Let's go and take a look at all of the ammo we got. Cool. The destroyers, let's go ahead and do our supply unit ammunition, supply unit ammunition, and continue working on that. There we go. They'll arm up in just a moment. Alright, so as time continues to pass, we're good. We're doing well here. Not really. I think I'll keep that technology ours for now. Let's go and take a look at our technologies though, see if we're doing pretty good. Yep, now we get the 2200 HP engines. So the better those engines are, the better we can actually do on production. Let's go ahead and set up that. Set that at highest priority. I like those F4Us. Those things can be used in multiple roles, and I will use those in multiple roles as we get into the mid-game. I'll in fact use those for base defenses as well as for my carrier groups. Not worth a trade. Hey, yes, I know I know what I was saying earlier about all those resources, but I don't really want to give up resources right now, because you can also think of it another way. So you've got the usage where you need the resources, but you can also use the usage where the AI is asking for resources because they probably don't have it. So you can kind of hinder their production as well. Very interesting way to think about it, but you know. Alright, let's go ahead and continue. I think I'll go and let this video run for another just a couple minutes, and then we'll go ahead and call it for the episode. That'll be about half an hour's worth of footage, which won't be too terribly bad. Alright, so one thing I'm about to do is, typically we should have war striking not too long from now. So let's go and take a look at our ammunition loadage. They're kind of short in ammunition. I'm not really too concerned because we're building a whole lot. Well, we need even more, don't we? Alright, so you know what, let's go do this. Let's go back and just call this like this. It's going to cost us quite a bit of money, but you know what, we're going to do it anyway. Alright. You can just watch the money drop now, but we had enough. See, again, reasons to have a great economy, so that you can, in a moment's notice, make those kind of adjustments, and when you're in need of something, you can just go ahead and cut them out, and just build it straight up. We're still doing alright. Alright. Now, it's interesting to think about is I could potentially start war. Yes, I'll take a economy cut. However, it could make sense in this timeline, this custom timeline that the PSA allows, and just go ahead and start going on some little bits of rampages, maybe. Very intriguing thoughts. I don't know. Maybe you guys could let me know in the comments below. Do you want me to strike at war? Because personally, if I'm going to start war, here's what we're going to do. We're just going to come straight and capture these main three. That'll be just like straight up one episode, just me conquering those three bases right there. So if you guys want to see that as an episode, you let me know. But because we've definitely got the resources right now. In this episode, we've done a great job when it comes to what we're building. We've done a fantastic job just stockpiling. Let's see what we need here. Just 53 dive bombers. And guess what? We've almost got that. You know, we might have this by the end of the episode. So let's build up 53 there. And we're going to apply that. And we're doing good. Alright, guys. We're doing a really good job when it comes to building up all these units. Especially the aircraft. So we're doing a good job. Alright, let's keep this going. Alright, not worth a trade here. Again, I'm really starting to prepare for war, so let's go ahead and be careful with all this. Let's go and cancel that out. Because I'm watching the timeline, right? I know generally when technology, start technology from here. when war starts to strike. And it's kind of we're starting to hit that area. 1942. Yeah, we're about ready to start it up. All right. Now what I did do is I removed the defeat condition for if you don't start war after a certain amount of time. So it's possible the AI will just decide to like delay and delay and delay to the point where I just might as well, even if you don't want me to, I might just go ahead and strike just to get it over with. But it's actually pretty cool because it kind of adds a little bit of variety into the game. All right. So we've just hit the 30-minute mark. I might have to do a little bit of editing, but who knows. So in the end, I believe we are in a really good position. Let's go and take a look to see just how many fighters we've got, to see if we're almost there. And we are in need of a measly 25 dive bombers before we can build that group. Alright guys, so here's been the second installment of PSA 1.8.4 campaign. Hope you enjoyed yourself. So if you have any comments, any kind of critiques or anything like that, just leave them in the comments below. And if you enjoyed it, also let me know. Hit that like button. I don't really solicit likes or subscribes anyway. To me that's not really that important. I just enjoy doing it, and I want to hope you guys enjoyed it as well. So just let me know, and I will see you here, there, or in the air.